Commentary is based on the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. It is common for people to perceive themselves according to their present realities. A person in ill health says, "I am ill." Few say, "I am well. It is my body that is suffering." People in a low income bracket say, "I am poor." Only the unusual person will say, "Though outwardly I live in poverty, inwardly I am wealthy." Thus, when it comes to moral and spiritual development, people commonly identify themselves with their weaknesses and their mistakes. They consider it almost a sign of humility to say, "I am a sinner." Though in effect, what this means is that they identify themselves with their sinfulness, not with the soul's power to transcend all limitations in God. The great masters, including Jesus Christ, have always emphasized the divine potential of mankind. To encourage us, they address us as children of light, not as darkness. The Bible in the Gospel of St. John chapter 3 makes the point that our true home is not the mud of this earth, but the light of heaven. No man hath ascended up to heaven, it tells us, but him that came down from heaven. This passage continues, "Even so, the Son of Man who is in heaven," emphasizing that Jesus, though he lived on earth, is perceived by the eye of wisdom as conscious, even in human form, of his true reality in heavenly spheres. The way to know God is to live in godly consciousness and not to bewail our imperfections and our distance from God. Jesus said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." And the Bhagavad Gita states, "Seekers of union with the Lord find Him dwelling in their own hearts, but those who, lacking in wisdom, seek Him with impure motives, cannot perceive Him, however much they struggle to do so." If you want to know God, Paramahansa Yogananda said, live in the thought that you have Him already. Thus, through Holy Scripture, God has spoken to mankind. Om, Om, Om. Good morning and happy Sunday, children of light, great souls. I don't know if you all know this. Those who live at Ananda do. Many of us at Ananda have this little bracelet. And what is written there? It's to help us remember. What would the Master do? What would Swamiji do? Meaning Swami Kriyananda. So I asked Swami Kriyananda inwardly, what do you want to say? Master, what do you want to say? And here's what they answered. Swamiji sent me a very particular thing to share with you. I will always love you. Live in love. Receive the love of God. And share the love of God with everyone. This is from Swami. And then Yogananda, what do you want to say to the people? And he said, Tell them to try to stay as healthy as possible in this moment. I gave a technique to burn up all germs, viruses, and bacteria. And you know that we're talking about the energization exercises, especially the 20 body parts, which we should do every day, many times, lying down, standing up, wherever we are. So stand up now, everyone. And we'll do it. Inhale, tense the whole body, send from the medulla oblongata a strong ray of light that burns all impurities in the body. Again, tense, inhale and tense, and relax. You have to do this very strongly. Once again, inhale, tense, vibrate, send luminous life force energy, and relax. Tense your left foot. Do this strongly with the eyes closed. The right foot tense strongly and relax. The left calf tense with will. Send lots of light there and relax. And listen, the right side. Send the prana from the medulla oblongata and relax. The left thigh, where there is prana, illness must flee. The right side, tense, relax. Left buttock, eyes closed, relax. Right buttock, send the energy to the right buttock. The abdomen under the navel, tense, and send the prana there from the medulla oblongata. Strong, 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 and relax. Above the navel, tense the stomach, fill it with prana that will heal and relax. The left forearm, send the prana, vibrate, concentrate, relax. Right side, vibrate, strongly relax. Left upper arm, vibrate and relax. Right side, low, medium, high, strong, relax. Now the chest, tense the left side of the chest, not only the muscles, but fill it with light and relax. The right side, send the light of prana, the neck, left side, and relax. Right side, relax. The throat, relax. Then the back of the neck, all of the body with the chin on the chest, and relax. And you can be seated. So, happy Sunday. Why do I like to go to the Himalayas so much every year? Also, Shantidev and Radhika often go with me, because there it seems like there's a thinner veil between the earth and God, and it's easier to feel that divine presence. There's a certain level of materialism that is not present there. And I'm thinking this is similar to what's happening in the whole world. All of the stability and the security of the earth is shaking a bit, almost like an earthquake. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of tension, a lot of asking, what's going to happen? I asked a financial expert who works in New York, who also guides a meditation group in New York. And I asked her, what do you think of this situation? What will happen? And she said, nobody knows. It's totally open. So the whole physical world is feeling insecure, which can create fear. But as a test, when the material world is less secure, it is pushing us towards focusing on the spiritual, which is untouchable. Yogananda said, the world is insecure for everyone. Who knows what will happen tomorrow? Our security comes in finding who we are really. Where do we come from? From our Father. This is how, according to Yogananda, you are a prince in the great realm. Try to feel the majestic presence, powerful, luminous, immortal, the presence of the divine, eternal majesty, majestic, strong. And then the great thing of the teachings of yoga and of Yogananda is not just kneeling down and praying, but the same thing, powerful, majestic, and luminous, is within you, because you are made as the prince is the image of the king. All of this that is his belongs also to you. Try to feel for a minute that you are this prince, noble, pure, divine. Try to feel yourself that you are born of the Supreme Majesty. His DNA is inside of you. His heredity is in you. Connect with this. And listen to the stories that Yogananda taught about the prince that is you. One day the great prince goes around the garden of the palace, and imagine that you are this prince. He enjoys the gardens, the wonderful food that's available. He enjoys his power that he has as a prince, his nobility, his power, because he is the son of the great king. And he has a wonderful wife who is the princess. And they live a wonderful life. And one day, this is the story from Yogananda, one day this wonderful divine prince goes to sleep and begins to dream. I am poor. He dreams that he is poor, weak, miserable, that he's a beggar. Help me, help me, he's suffering. And this dream goes on. It doesn't want to finish, it keeps going. And he's fighting, he doesn't have strength, he doesn't have food. Help me, help me. The dream becomes even more strong until he begins to shout mentally. But he actually begins to speak in his sleep. Help me, I am poor. And the princess next to him hears these words. Help me, I am poor. I am miserable, I have nothing. And she begins to wake him up. The prince, she says to the prince, wake up from this terrible dream, from this fantasy. Remember who you are. And the prince wakens, and we are all like this. We are princes. We are lost in a dream. And if we don't suffer, if we don't ask for help, he who never suffers usually does not call on God. Usually it's suffering that turns us to ask God for help. And in this story, the princess is a symbol for God, who's saying, wake up, you're not poor, you're not suffering. All that I have is yours also. And this is the story of all of us. We must awaken ourselves. Take this moment when everyone is at home to stay in silence, to use the power of being alone, to go inward, to touch this light, this majesty of God within us. We're not interested in theories, we're interested in experience. Feel in your house. Outwardly, everybody is living the dream of the prince. But if you pray and ask for help, the strongest experience of kirtan that I ever had was sometime in the 90s when there was a war. The war was happening in Croatia, and I went with Shivani to an area that was being threatened by war, but we felt to go there. And I did a kirtan, and I have never done such a kirtan. These people that had such fear of war sang to God in a way that I have never heard before. This is one of the blessings of difficult times. They're not bad. They want to help you to awaken. Here, there is no security. Look up and pray intensely. Return to God. Return to who you are. This is the first story of the princes and princess. All of you, I greet you. I greet you, Prince. I greet you, Princess. We are all children of God. Now, this is another story by Yogananda. It's always about a prince who lives in his palace with his father, with the glory of his life. And suddenly, he, as an adolescent, goes out and says, "That's enough of this. I want to have a normal adolescent life." And he begins to drink. And he gets drunk. And he doesn't understand anything. He even forgets who he is. He forgets himself. He feels like the other prince felt in his dream. He's among people who are poor, who are suffering. And he is also suffering from being so drunk. He's standing there and he's not well. And fortunately, when he begins to complain, "Oh, I'm ill, I'm not well, I drank too much, I feel bad everywhere, I even feel like vomiting." And fortunately, his guru comes. And in this story, his guru is represented by a friend who says, "Try again to become awake. Awaken to who you really are. Let go of this drunkenness and feel who you are, marvelous prince." And this friend, as I said, represents the guru. It is the guru who stimulates us and pushes us to not stay in the dream. Take away from yourself, throw away the sense of drunkenness and suffering. Take away all hypnotic obstacles. You cannot die. You cannot even really suffer. Again, find your true state as a prince. And also the Master said, these are other words by Yogananda. The King of the universe is my Father. I am the hereditary prince of his reign of power, riches, and wisdom. These are words of Yogananda. Repeat them again. The King of the universe is my Father. I am his hereditary prince of his whole reign of power, wealth, and wisdom. And now we come to the third story of another prince, yet another prince. And this is a prince like all princes. He's been raised with never seeing anything ugly. He's always been surrounded by happy, healthy people. Art, music, consciousness, wonderful food, royal people, beautifully dressed. One day, this is similar to the story of Siddhartha, the Buddha. One day he says, I want to see what is outside. I want to go outside. And he goes and he sees misery. He sees a poor person through suffering, a person who's very ill, and he sees a dead person. The story of Buddha is different. This prince says, I want to stay here in this situation to help these people. And he discovers that being there and helping the people, he became very much stronger compared to when he was just in his palace. And so Yogananda teaches that the difficult situations of life never happen to squish us down. They come to bring out the soul qualities, the qualities of the Prince who is within us. So try to meditate on these words by Yogananda. The Lord created everything to put us to the test and to make us emerge in the immortality of the soul. This is the adventure of life and its only purpose. It is the adventure. The adventure of everyone is different, unique. You should be prepared to confront all of your problems of health, of the mind and the soul, with methods of good sense and faith in God, knowing that in life and in death, your soul will remain always invincible. You can never die. The soul, the changeless soul, calm, unmoving. You, for eternity, are the image of Spirit. So close your eyes again for a moment. Feel the Masters next to you. Feel God. Feel life as these three princes. The first one met God. The second met his guru. The third met life as a way to grow. Close your eyes and feel that you are these princes, sons and daughters of God. And say to your Father, I am ready for today. I will be ready for tomorrow. And if after tomorrow the world becomes even more difficult, I am ready because I am with you. You are in my soul, which is invincible. Try to use this period as a way to reawaken your soul. This is happening. I receive many messages from people who say it's very difficult, but a wonderful thing is happening. We are strong, our souls are coming out. Sahaja receives similar messages. A new consciousness is emerging. We are princes. We are strong. We have God. We have the Guru. Those who don't have a Guru, think to open yourself to a Guru and to our divine soul. Nothing can happen. Even if we are all separate physically in our houses, bring your hands to your heart and feel that we are all connected, united in our hearts, touching with our hearts. Feel that our hearts are united and will be united. And if things become even more difficult on the earth, either personally, we are not alone. We have each other. We have the help of God and His light and love. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Sono parole di Yogananda, tantissimi conoscete. Questa vita che mi scorre nelle vene, cosa può essere se non vita divina? È una sua affermazione dalle sue meditazioni metafisiche. E poi Swami Kriyananda
Swami added other words. In thy light, in thy love, in thy joy, I am one. I am one with the infinite Om. Sing as if you know Prince.
Tua beatitudine nel tuo amore, sono uno con l'Eterno. Nella tua beatitudine nel tuo amore, sono uno con l'Eterno. Questa vita che mi scorre nelle vene, cosa può essere se non divina? Questa vita che mi scorre nelle vene, cosa può essere se non divina? Nella tua beatitudine, nel tuo amore, sono uno con l'Eterno. Nella tua beatitudine, nel tuo amore, sono uno con l'Eterno. Questa vita che mi scorre nelle vene, cosa può essere se non divina? Questa vita che mi scorre nelle vene, cosa può essere se non divina? Nella tua beatitudine, nel tuo amore, sono uno con l'Eterno. Nella tua beatitudine, nel tuo amore, sono uno con l'Eterno. What is this life flowing through my veins? Can it be other than divine? What is this life flowing through my veins? Can it be other than divine? In thy light, in thy love, in thy joy, I am one with the infinite all. In thy light, in thy love, in thy joy, I am one with the infinite all. What is this life flowing through my veins? Can it be other than divine? What is this life flowing through my veins? Can it be other than divine? In thy light, in thy love, in thy joy, I tua beatitudine, nel tuo amore, sono uno con l'Eterno. Nella tua beatitudine, nel tuo amore, sono uno con l'Eterno. Oh.